Hello, pet lovers and do-it-yourselfers. John Mortensen, owner and operator of PetDoorStore.com, and today I'm going to show you my favorite pet door, the Endura. So what makes this pet door better than all the others is it's weather tight and it's durable. I actually went down to the manufacturer when they were designing this thing, and they had a machine that pushed it open one way and then the other, and it just went back and forth, open and shut all day long. And when I was there, the machine was at 2,250,000 cycles back and forth, and they got it up over 3 million before the flap eventually failed at the edge. So ridiculously durable. I mean, you can have, you know, this thing's gonna last the lifetime of 15, 20 dogs. So if you don't have 10 dogs at a time, it's just never gonna wear out. The flaps can be chewed, but that's really the only issue that you'll have with one of these doors that you're likely to have anyway. So what makes these different? Well, your typical flap is soft, and it's vinyl or rubber or something like that, and it's hung at the top, and then it kind of flexes open. So it flexes back and forth, and you know, over a period of years, eventually it'll wear out at the top, and it'll start tearing right in the corner here. Now, the other thing that happens to the soft flaps a lot is the dogs decide, we're only going to go out the left-hand side, or we're only going to go out the right-hand side. So they put a lot of wear on one side of the flap, and who knows why they do that, but they do. And so eventually it's pretty common to have a bowed flap where it just, you know, it might hit down at the bottom where the magnets are, but there's a big gap in the middle. And the Endura solves both of these problems really well. It uses a hinge at the top, so instead of flexing to open, it swings on the hinge. And then on the sides and the bottom, there's magnets that go all the way down the sides and across the bottom. Now, this flap's kind of weird because it's really not as wide as the frame. So what happens is it closes down, and then there's kind of like a bellows on the end, and it stretches out. And then the flap hits the frame after it's been stretched. Likewise, on the bottom, there's a little magnet bar, and this bar jumps up to hit the bottom of the flap with its magnets. So it does this every time, and it seals up really well. So just to show you, here's this bellows section. You can see how flexible this is on the sides. Now, the whole flap, by the way, is flexible. I mean, it's just, it looks like a rigid flap. Oftentimes people will ask, you know, does this articulate at the 3 sections? No, it doesn't. It's flexible, and those 3 sections are just there to keep the flap from collapsing in the center. So this one here is the more weather-tight version. It's a double flap. So you've got a flap on the inside and a flap on the outside. Now I'm going to try to hold this up so that you can see the edge. Hopefully that's pretty close. But you can see that the flap has some thickness to it. These flaps, they're probably 5/8 or 3/4 of an inch thick. And so you've got an exterior part of the flap and then an interior part of the flap. And if you've got this double flap, then you have another exterior and another interior. So really you have 4 layers of plastic between the outside air and the inside of your house. Really, really, really weather-tight, and very windproof too. The Endura is the only one that I'm aware of that's been put into a wind tunnel. They did it on the medium size with a single flap, and it took a 50 mile/hour wind to blow that single flap door open. The double flap is going to be even better, and really, I think that anybody has a tough time competing with these guys when it comes to windproofing with a double flap. They do come with a locking cover. The locking cover has a spring-loaded pin, and it's about 3/16 of an inch thick, and it's got this shape to it. A lot of the locking covers are flat. The shape gives it more rigidity. It's actually pretty tough, and if you get it in the larger size here, it's got 2 of these spring-loaded pins, and these prevent you from reaching it from the outside and lifting it out to get into the house that way. If there's a downside to this door, well, there's 2 that I can think of. One is color. It only comes in white. Okay, so that's unfortunate if you have like a dark stained wood door. But if there's a real downside to the function of this door, it's the noise. Now, when you've got a real strong magnet like this one does, the magnets are going to click when it closes. Plus this bar is jumping up to hit the bottom, and that makes a noise. So I'm going to push this open. So this is a double flap extra large. This is as loud as these things get. And you know, I don't have a decibel meter or anything like that. I can tell you that if I was going to put this into my bedroom and I had a dog that liked to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go pee, this probably wouldn't be my first choice. But that said, if it's not that sort of a situation, if this is in the family room or in the back door or something like that, I would go for it, definitely, because I really like this pet door for, again, the weatherproofing and the durability. Now, another question we get a lot is, I've got a 12-pound cat and a 150-pound dog. 150-pound dog will fit through this extra large, but will the cat be able to use it? And the answer to that is yes, the cat will be able to use it. Now, if you just think back to the last time you picked up your cat in this hand, picked up the carrier in this hand, and maybe you were taking the cat to the vet and you tried to put that cat into the carrier. If you can remember that, cats are really strong. So there's just no question at all that a cat will be able to push this open and hold these flaps open too as they're walking through. There's just no question about it. But cats can be temperamental. So, I mean, you have a better idea of how your cat's going to react to this than we do. I mean, it makes some noise. It does have a pretty good initial push before it breaks the magnetic seal. So they'll have to push on it with their head, reasonably hard to get it to break the seal and open up. But there's just no question at all that your cat can open this if they want to. Just no question. If you have any other questions about the door, operation, installation, anything like that, my name's John. Number is 866-377-3667. My email is sales@petdoorstore.com. On the menu on the left-hand side of the screen, about 2/3 of the way down, there's a little chat bar. You can click on that, and if I'm here, I will answer it. And I mean, I'm talking if it's 9 o'clock at night and my computer is on and I see that thing going, I will run and get it. So I try to get back to you as quickly as possible on those. If the chat is off because I'm away, then it'll ask you to leave an email, and I'm pretty good about those too. I'll answer those whenever I happen to be on my computer. So business hours don't really apply to those two things. Thanks very much for watching, and have a good day.